Hello everyone, Faith here, and this is my first ever video posted to YouTube. And I am going to show you how I do my own makeup as a professional makeup artist. So the first thing I do is take my e.l.f. camo concealer and put it on my eyes and on my under eyes. I use this as an eyeshadow primer instead, and then I go 3 dots right here, spaced out pretty evenly. And then I just rub that in. Like so. And then I take my first blending sponge and I blend my under eyes as well. And then I blend a little more on the eyelids. And then what I do is take my e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. I tap that on to the bottom of the lid. Then I take my Bobbi Brown brush and I just, as you can see, I just rub the setting powder on my eyelids with the brush. And then what I do next is I use a powder puff, and then I put that right on. I put the powder right on my under eyes and let it bake. If you want to know a more natural look, only bake under the under eyes. And that's just a tip. And then I let that sit for a little while and do my eyeshadow. I use my Tartelette Juicy eyeshadow palette, and these two are the colors that I use the most for very obvious reasons. I use the color Happiness on my lids. That what I do here is take the eyeshadow brush right here with the lid brush, and then I just tap that on like so. Normally I do brows first on my clients, but on myself, I don't do so. I just do my eyes and under eyes first. And then later on my makeup routine, I just do the brows, as you'll see later. Once I'm done tapping, then I take this little brush here, go into my color, and outline the under eye here. Then I take my crease brush and blend out the lid area just a tad. And then I go in with Reflect, the eyeshadow color. What I do here is I take the shimmer, grab it with my finger, rub, and then I put that on the lid like so. There you go. That is a tip for a less than 5-minute eyeshadow look. Since I do not use liner on myself. Very rarely will I do. So next, I forgot. I go in with, and then I brush away any excess powder, and there you go. And then what I do next is I go in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter. I use that as a foundation. And honestly, that's how I get my signature glow. I put some on my cheekbones, the top and upper lip, chin, and then I go in to my forehead like so. This is a skin tint. You know, this is not a foundation, but I use it as a foundation anyways. So after then I blend out the skin tint with my second beauty sponge. This is a beauty blender. And I just go ahead and blend it out like so. This stuff is very, very low coverage. And make sure you blend up on the under eyes too. A little bit, but not too much. Then I just blend out my head, my nose, my forehead, my nose. Just keep on blending and go down a little bit onto the neck. And make sure it's all nice and blended out. And then I go in with my e.l.f. Halo Glow Contour, and I contour just above my cheekbones like this. Forehead. Put 8 dots on the forehead for my everyday makeup routine. And then I do not contour the nose or the jawline on myself. I know I do so for my models and clients because that's how I was taught in my makeup course, but on myself personally and for a natural model, I would not do this. Only the cheekbones and the forehead. And then I take my third beauty blender sponge, and then I blend the cheekbones like this. I just tap like so. This, make sure you do not over or under blend. And then I just blend my forehead and temples like so. And then I go in with the Nude Sticks cream blush in the shade Rosy Posy. And goes up like this. I smile. And then I keep smiling and I blend that out like so. And before I do my makeup, I always go on with the e.l.f. Sunscreen Face Primer. Has a bit of a tint to it, and it keeps makeup on for longer. I blend out my blush like this, like what I'm doing right now. And then with the leftover setting, with the setting powder and my Bobbi Brown brush, I will go in and put setting powder on my face. It keeps your makeup on all day long. Trust me, I know. Don't do this if you have mature skin though. What I would do is use a fixing spray instead of setting powder. Need a little more. There you go, I think that'll be enough. And then I put a little bit on the nose and go a little under the neck. Next, I'm going to do my highlight, the Bobbi Brown Pink Glow. I need to replace my highlight soon since I'm running low. So here's what I do for myself. I go in to the palette and then I put that on with my Bobbi Brown brush on my forehead. And then my nose. and my chin, and right below the nose, like so. And then for an extra rosiness to my cheeks, I go in with the Bobbi Brown Bronze. So this is what the palette looks like. I have a blush brush. I tap that into the product at least 2 to 3 times. I smile and put it on like so. And then whatever leftover I have on the bronze, I will then go in with my forehead to warm it up. I also use this as a bronzer. And there you go. And now I'm gonna move on to my brows. So I take my e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil, and I start on the tail end. This is what I do for all my clients. By the way, if you have full eyebrows, like myself, only use a brow pencil and a little bit of gel. You don't need that much product. I just use the pencil to fill in the tail end of my brow and any bald spots I have. That's it. And then with the brush end of the pencil, I just go in and just lightly brush out the product. And then I go in with my Benefit 24-hour brow setter, and I put on the brow gel like the directions say it does. So what you want to do first is put the stuff on with the longer end of your brush, and then with the shorter end of the brush you want to set that in. Get any sort of brow hair that's still up. And you know, if you want to make life easier on yourself when applying brow product, make sure your brows are plucked and groomed. That's just a tip that I have. Then I do the same with my other brow, like so. Every week or two, I will go in and pluck any stray hairs my brow has, and then I trim the brow hair using beard scissors. That is how I keep my brows neat. When I don't have makeup on, that is. And then I will go in with the Mario Badescu face spray. I'm getting low on that, so I will need to go back to TJ Maxx or Marshall's and get some for myself. And this keeps my combo skin nice and moisturized as well. So, on to lashes. And besides, like, using rose water as a setting spray not only keeps your makeup in, it just moisturizes your skin as well. It is so good for your skin. And if you have and it's also a very good moisturizer for your hair. But please do not skip out on conditioning and weekly hair masks. That is not good for your hair. And then what I do is I curl my lashes. And make sure you get every single lash. I curl my lashes like so. And make sure you get a lash curler that you are able to get every single lash on. And since my eyelashes are so naturally long, I do not use false eyelashes, just mascara. Check for any eyelashes that I missed. Then I curl that. Oh, much better. My eyelashes are so thick and long. It's convenient for me because I don't need to use falsies. I mean, I do not like false eyelashes anyways, but I use them on people because it helps complete the look. I prefer individual lashes for this very reason. I just need to start learning how to use them. And then with my mascara, I have the Benefit Bad Gal Bang. I recommend this mascara for everyone and their cousin because it makes your eyelashes look false. Or if your lashes are thin, it will make them look so much longer and thicker. With this mascara, you will look like you have falsies on. That's why I love it so much. And what I do here is with the mascara, I go in, I wiggle the brush, and then I go up, like so. And with this particular mascara, you do not need 2 coats. For natural girlies, I will use 2 coats of mascara. But if it's Benefit Bad Gal Bang, only use 1. I mean, take that back. Only use 1 coat of mascara for every Benefit mascara because it is so good thickening especially this one. And then if my lashes, I'm gonna need a new mascara soon. It's getting clumpy. I will then go in with my eyelash separator if the lashes look a little too clumpy, and I just brush up like this. Or if you want your mascara to last a little longer, put eye drops in it, but I don't suggest that because I do not recommend using expired makeup at all. And then what I do is I use my ColourPop Barbie Golden Beach lip liner. I do not recommend ColourPop lip liners, by the way, but I use it anyways because I do not want to waste the product. Smile a little bit. Get a blueprint on what your lips want to look like. And then I go in and line them like so. And I like a Cupid's bow lip, so I like to line like this. See here? And I always line my clients' lips like this. I love a Cupid's bow on everyone. You know. And then I go in with my Barbie, the ColourPop Barbie Golden Beach lipstick. This is my perfect nude, by the way. And I apply it like this. Make sure it looks even. Rub the lips to apply the product evenly. Use your finger to clean up any edges you missed. Or don't do this if you're doing another person's makeup, by the way. That is not sanitary, but for yourself, it is fine. And then I take a tissue and I blot my lips. Makes the product last so much longer. But don't blot too much or you'll have to put on lipstick again. And that is my everyday natural makeup look and a makeup tutorial for beginners. So, have a good day, everyone. And if you want to book an appointment with me, you absolutely can. Follow me on Instagram, at Faith Kathleen MUA. So, my username is Faith Kathleen MUA, by the way. Look that up on Instagram if you aren't already following me. Have a great day, and thank you for your time and consideration.